The Nun is now in theaters and is the 5th entry in the Conjuring franchise. This is a film that, if you've seen The Conjuring 2, this is a film that as soon as you saw The Conjuring 2, you knew that a character in that film was going to get made into a film. And here we are, 2018, and here it is. This film is about a nun, obviously, but it's more about these two people, a priest and a nun in training, as they are trying to uncover what is going on in this monastery-esque place. That's the premise in a nutshell. So I'll start off with the positives. This is a film that I was looking forward to, honestly, very much so, because I like the idea of a horror franchise. I'm sick and tired to death of superhero movies having their own franchises and whatnot, and other franchises not really having a chance to have like a cinematic universe, so to speak. So to see a horror franchise do that, I like. I love the first Conjuring. I think it's a masterpiece of horror. The second Conjuring, it's good. I'll put my review for that down below. Annabelle, I didn't like. And then Annabelle Creation, I thought was solid. And I'll put my review down for that too. This is a film that is well shot. The setup of the camera work, it is very neat. The homage it pays to other horror films is quite effective. Also, the acting is good for the most part. Tessa Farmiga, I think her name is, the main actress. She's good in the film. And I liked the details of the costumes. It was very cool to see, you know, all these nun uniforms, as well as the makeup was very effective. Also, I think the very end of the film, with how it ties into the rest of the films, was good. I'll say that. It was good. It worked for me. But unfortunately, that's all the positives. The story is very lax. It doesn't really go much in the way of directions. There's very few plot points. The characters are very, very, very lightly sketched. The jump scares aren't effective. There are many times where they're trying to be effective, but they just don't work. It's the type of thing where you can see it a mile away, where it's like, oh, you see someone this way, it's like, oh, they're coming that way. And it doesn't work. It's kind of like my intro. It's like, if you're watching this review, you knew something like that was going to happen, because it's a horror film, and it's a jump scare horror film fest, so you know going into a review to expect that, and that's kind of like this film. All the jump scares you've seen before in some way or another, so they just aren't effective. And once the jump scares go by, there isn't anything really to nourish and think about. There aren't really any messages in this film, and I think that this film is kind of following in the vein of It, the new It movie, where it's fine with being bombastic in terms of trying to scare the audience, and it's not necessarily a bad thing, because the new It was solid, but in terms of just kind of seeing like a copycat of that formula and it not working and falling flat, I don't know, it just stinks. Also, in terms of storytelling, it's also kind of sad to see characters that are very one-dimensional. There isn't much to them. They're just like these archetypes and nothing more. So it stinks. But honestly, I feel as though I'm kind of biased, because The Nun, honestly, I'll be giving a 3 out of 5 star rating, which is Frank's Red Hot rating. I know I give this rating to a lot of films, but honestly, I was going to give this film a 2.5. But if you're a fan of the Conjuring franchise, you're going to watch this film. You're probably not even going to watch this review because you're a fan and you're like, I already know that I'm going to like it. That's fine. So that's why I'm saying, if you're a fan, you'll probably think it's passable. I know I did too. And much like the film, I'm being lax on this instead of being very hard. So that's my review for The Nun. If you have any questions or comments in regards to the film, I'll be more than happy to answer it, because I'm a big fan of this universe. Of course, I do think that it could have just been one film, you know, The Conjuring, but hey, you get what you get. But guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below of The Nun. Also, don't forget the subscription, notification bell, and I'll catch you guys later.